Okay, let me make sure that this is going.
Oh, God.
Oh wait, am I? I don't even think I am. Hold on. Oh, there I am. Okay. Hold on. Let me.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna deafen real quick. All right. Hello everyone. You're probably not expecting a stream from me at this kind of time. But I'm kind of doing this for the sake of finally coming out with my own experience. So this isn't just going to be like some kind of, oh, fun stream, games, Roblox, all that kind of stuff. It's basically just going to be something that's been going on for a couple months now, and that it's finally time I bring up the experience about it, or at least talk about it and talk about my side in a way, so that way there isn't any confusion and isn't any problems in a sort of way that kind of reflect back on this. I do want to remind some of you that what I will be showing you and what will be talked about is very serious and very kind of showing experiences from certain people. I do have these people in a Discord server. They gave me full authority, including other people who won't be in the stream or in the voice chat. They gave me full authority to use photos, use their own words and articulation to prepare this stream. Now, I do want to remind you that whoever is in the voice chat who is part of what I am talking about, they do have the right to talk about it in the voice chat or even the stream chat themselves. So if anyone is going to fight about these people, hello Jessica, I'm doing okay. So if anyone in the stream or in the voice chat is part of this conversation or even part of the document, do not attack them. Do not ask them personal questions. Do not try to look for them. Do not do anything. This is the sake of making them comfortable, showing their side of the story, and finally expressing what happened. So, without a further ado, I will now present to you a document that has been in the making for almost a month now. And if what I say might be correlated to what is being said from the people in the live chat, they can correct me if they like or they won't. Depending on what is going on, it will be there. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you to the people that will be in the stream who will have their own opinions and their own recognition to what happened. Without further ado, let us begin. Alrighty, people. Welcome, welcome. Now, before we start, there is going to be a lot of warnings up ahead, such as behavioral issues, manipulation, manipulation tactics, trauma dumping, gaslighting, and even emotional manipulation if you bring it as that. For the sake of this, I have provided people that will be in the document and even in the server themselves. Some people won't be in here due to the fact that they are preventing from privacy issues, or they don't want to be in here for the sake of their own protection. Who knows? So, through this document, I will be presenting you clear representation and facts of a certain someone who I felt needed to be confronted. They may not message me, they may will. Depending on what is said, or what will happen in the future, it may occur. We won't know until we go through this. Now, to begin, the person that we might be talking about, you might know her or them or him. But the person that we'll be talking about will be going known as Bryn or Demi Bryn. You may know them, you may not. Depending on what it is, I will be talking about them. Now you may be wondering, I thought you were friends with Bryn. Or what even happened to Bryn? I thought she was in a stream with you a while ago. Well, there has been circulation going around, and now I will be talking about Bryn because of what she has done to not only myself, but to the victims and to the people that had no stake in being a part of this drama. Some of these people that will be mentioned here, they are minors. Just to let everyone know, the people mentioned here, except from the first two, everyone else in the from the third to the sixth, they're all minors. Now, the reason why I disclose this is because further ahead will be proof of what they said to me that I am coming back from this document. Now, I will start from the very beginning for the sake so people don't think I am trying to gaslight the situation. All right? So, in the beginning, it was about a couple months ago, probably around June or July, okay? This was when I created a stream for the sake of being bored. I wanted to make a stream for everyone to be a part of, finally play a game after whatever, freaking years or months of being and doing a stream. Of course, at that time, I didn't have any money. I was a broke motherfucker. So, during that case, Bryn decided to step in and help. Of course, the original plan was Bryn creates a server, we play it, we leave, that was it. She joins the server that we have, and then we leave. That was that. Now, after that situation, my group and I decided that it would be best we let Bryn in because it was kind of fun. It was an enjoyment. It felt finally we had a lot of people joining now. We finally have someone or something in the server that will finally complete the server fully and we'll have more people by time. Of course, by time, no one was talking crap about Bryn. There is no circulation of no one talking trash. There is no one going off and trying to start trouble. No gaslighting, no backstabbing, no nothing. So even till then, everyone wanted her there. Everyone enjoyed her time there, enjoyed her company, and just accept her for who she was as a person. Even Kaylee even recommended that she liked her voice. There is a video in my server, but I'm not going months and months looking for something like that. So, now that you know the beginning of the story, I would like to start how it happened, how it occurred, how this whole drama began. I think around a month or two in, I don't remember how long has it been, but around a month or two in of Bryn being in the server, I was getting questionable interactions with my group. The group has stated to me overall how Bryn was with them. Not in a horrible, crappy way, but more of, was I bothering you? Are we still friends? She kept asking the same question towards them. Not even that. It was even stated to me by the group specifically that they were getting uncomfortable. Now, of course, you may think, oh, well, Bryn isn't the type to make people uncomfortable. Well, in this case, yes, it was. Even though these photos that I provided here with Bryn saying, I didn't really mind me telling your age, don't feel bad or weird, I won't tell anyone. Your secret is safe with me. Even though you may think, well, these aren't even bad accusations. How could this be a bad case for Bryn? Well, stated by one of the people who I talked to, Eden, who will be in this document for the sake of correcting me or being a part of it. She had stated to me that even though this may not look bad in some cases, it was still uncomfortable to her. Now, knowing Eden and everyone else in the server were minors from 16 to 15 to 17, they were uncomfortable. Now, what was my first option to do? I confronted Bryn. I had told Bryn in a private conversation that what was happening wasn't necessary. It felt off. It didn't feel right. It felt as though what was happening shouldn't have happened at all. So, I had explained to Bryn in a calm way. I didn't attack her. I didn't force myself to her. I didn't do anything. All I said, with all due respect, you are making my group uncomfortable. You are not allowed to be a part of this group due to the fact that what you're doing isn't right. If they felt uncomfortable, I have to agree with their decision and their plan. So, Bryn was not only removed herself, but she was removed entirely from conversations with the other people. Now, you might be wondering, well, Bryn doesn't seem the type to be like that. Why would you assume that? Well, again, stated by the people in my server who are minors. They felt the situation was uncomfortable. They didn't like it. They didn't like having to talk privately of the idea that someone was privately talking to them in this kind of way, asking them if they're still friends, if what she's doing is wrong, such and such. Now, you may not agree to me on this. You may not agree to me with what I'm saying. But in this aspect, as someone who was also an adult in this server, I had to agree with the idea that if they were uncomfortable, I had to stand by their decision and stand up to them and agree with what they did. So, as a result, Bryn was no longer allowed to talk to them. She wasn't allowed to message them, be in the same direction as them, or even be in the same stream or game as them. It was that. Even though in the past inquisitions, I had told Bryn in the past it wasn't intentional. I understand it wasn't intentional. Maybe she didn't know. Maybe she felt like she had to because she had a lot of problems in the past. But it didn't excuse the fact that she made them uncomfortable. And it made it weird or awkward. Now, I can understand in your guys' perspective who are friends with Bryn that it might seem wrong. Maybe what I'm saying is wrong. Maybe what my group is saying is wrong. But if you were in my shoes and you had someone who was the same age as me, who was talking privately about people who were younger than them specifically, and had to talk towards them about the idea of what they were doing was wrong, would you have to do the same thing I did, or would you allow this person to continue doing it to allow the uncomfortability towards the people who are very young in this situation to let it happen? That is why, in my case, I had told Brent that she was no longer to contact them. That what's done was done. It cannot be changed. You made them uncomfortable, and that was the end of it. And I am truly sorry for that. Even though, and she understood it too. Bryn understood it. It was over and done with. It was understood. She understood their feelings. Oh, yes. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you for mentioning that. I did remember. You said right there, don't forget that she would ask us to talk privately and vent to us about these things. So not only was she making the group uncomfortable, she was talking to these people who shouldn't have to talk to a grown up about these feelings, about this kind of stuff, and talk badly about the people we were around. Hold on, sorry, and we want to know personally information about us, like my real name or our names. Really? Hold on for a second. And want to know personal information about us, like my real name or our names. So, okay, we'll get deeper into that when we. So, how about, okay, we'll get deeper into that when we get to that point, Kaylee. Now, I do want to show you this next photo. You may be wondering, well, there's something going on. Bryn kept talking about the situation. She kept dragging it along with her. She kept insinuating that my group was talking about her, trashing her name, or even making fun of her all overall. I kept telling Bryn to leave it alone. They don't want to leave. They don't want to mess with you. You shouldn't mess with them. That was the end of the story. All right? They wanted to forget about her. That's what they stated to me. They do not want to talk about her anymore when this happened. Now, Jessica, I do agree everyone knows your real name, but in this case, you kind of have to understand that these people are really young. They don't want to have some 20-year-old or anyone else messaging about their age, their real name, where they went, such and such, you know? So, yes, I do understand your point of view, but I am mostly going towards these people's point of view. Now, I'm going to move on to the serious part where Kaylee started mentioning her points. Now, in the 2nd of October, I had those types of people who try to figure out exactly. So I am thankful that you understand this fully. She also talk like a. We will talk about that in a little bit, Vinny. Let's not discuss that fully right now. So in the 2nd of October, I had went off and was kicked out of her server. Now my first thought was, oh, okay, maybe she had to recreate it. Maybe something happened. So when I asked her, she kicked me herself and basically told me this. Now even though you may not read it, I will read it for you for the sake of everyone understanding where I'm coming from in my situation. I'll make it clear and simple for you. I just needed to have a break because university is coming back in a few days, and I was feeling extremely stressed out, and a bit paranoid and started worrying about past things, such as being accused for being a predator when I wasn't. In my head, I was like, maybe it's best if I unfriend Brandy, as they might not like me being friends with her either. Now, to point that out, my friends didn't care that I was friends with Bryn. They didn't care. They even stated they didn't care about me having a friendship with Bryn. It didn't bother them. Now, you may be wondering, I'm going to continue going on. I know it sounds like I haven't passed it, but truthfully, I haven't thought about it as of late. It just came to my mind a lot in a night and a bit today. Finding a place with the estate agent hasn't been a great success, but things are looking up now. To be honest with you, I do consider you as a friend. I just haven't felt great this past week. Not because of drama, just other bits and bobs that are to do with our well things. I apologize for everything, such as removing me, not moving on, and anxiety, and all that kind of stuff. Now, you may be wondering here, what does this have to do with the situation I have with Bryn? Now, now, for this situation, the reason why I think this was a good idea to add this here was because it was basically like Bryn was manipulating me. You may be wondering, why would Bryn manipulate you? Well, because it was the way she said it. She felt I was at fault that she was having anxiety. I was at fault that she couldn't move on. I was at fault that she couldn't accept the fact what she did to my group, to my friends. Now, you may be wondering, where did it came off that Bryn was a predator? Or her saying that? Now, I'm going to say she isn't a predator, but she has what her behavior was with my group was basically predatory or uncomfortable or weird. Now, I'm going to move on with messages that were sent to me by Vinny, who is in the chat called Wingding, who is not really here right now, but I'll add them in here. Now, my friend Vinny has added into the conversation that he was going to confront Bryn himself after finding out that Bryn never specified who she was entirely. She never specified what her real gender was, who she really is as a person. So, moving on, Vinny had went off to told Bryn that what she was doing was predatory behavior. She was lying to people in the server. Now, you might be wondering, well, what if Bryn told the people? What if Bryn told your group that she was who she was? No, that was not the case. She had went off and told two people, me and another friend, Kaylee, who is in the server in the voice chat right now. She had told Kaylee that she wanted Kaylee and everyone else to tell them who Bryn is, both pronouns and gender role. Now, you may be wondering, did this really happen? Yes, it did happen, because I have clarified to Kaylee about this, and she has stated to me that she did tell Bryn to confront everyone. She did tell Bryn to step up and tell the whole group who she is. Now, I have clarified with Kaylee, who she can tell me in the chat as well, that she was going to tell everyone, but never did. She never did anything. She hid it from everyone. Even Kaylee told me. When she told me, I told her she needs to tell everyone, and I said it wasn't in my place to say anything. I even specified to Kaylee, did you tell Bryn this? Did you really tell Bryn that you recommended her to speak up? Yes, I did. I have told her, and that she 100% knows that she told Bryn about this stuff. Even she can clarify it. You can ask her. Exactly what Kaylee has said. It isn't in her place. With Kaylee being a minor, you might be wondering, though, was what's why? Why was this happening? Because Bryn didn't was twisting the story in her favor. She was twisting the story to make myself look like an asshole and made everyone else look like an asshole. Hold on, I'm sorry, my thing messed up. Am I still streaming? Yes, I am. She went off and portrayed me and my group that we were all being assholes to her, that we were all attacking her, that we were all not accepting her, that we were all being horrible to her, when in reality, we were all accepting her no matter what. We had accepted her, we have approved of her being in our server, and she had the balls and the guts to hide things from everyone, vent things to these people who are minors, talking badly about people when they were around, and even trying to get personal information. When I had specifically told Bryn, do not say anything personal. Do not ask for these people personal information, as they will be uncomfortable. Did she listen? No. She had ignored my warning, and now this is where we are at. She has been in this point of stage where she had been confronted because she had lied. She had lied about who she was. She had lied to these people. And she had lied to these people for the sake of being accepted. And instead of being truthful about herself, she had lied. Now, through this, it felt like people were out against us when I first found out that people knew about this situation. It felt like people were going to attack us. People were going to hurt us. People were going to track down our discords and messages and everything and attack us. No, Microsoft, I do not want to do that. But up to this point, I have realized that and such and such. So, continuing on. Now, my first thought was, oh, we might be able to finally move on from this situation. I would no longer have to speak about it. I would no longer have to think about it. It was all done and over with. Of course, I have someone in this Discord chat named the Demon Inc., who is also known as Beanie, who has come out to me with information that Bryn had started talking shit behind myself and my group's back entirely. Now, moving on from this, not only has this been forgotten, Bryn had kept bringing out Vinny's name, my name, the group's name, everyone else in the group, basically stating that we were horrible people, that we sucked, that we were terrible, that we were monsters, that we confronted her, even stating, here, calm down. You know, he was trying to manipulate the situation, but making people believe that we were the reason that she was removed and that we had no reason to attack her. Now, moving on from this, it was continued on and on. Beanie has showed me proof again and again that Bryn kept talking about Vinny. That was the specific person she wanted to go after. Because why? Because Vinny was the one who confronted Bryn. And to this day, I still do not understand why Bryn had the guts to talk about someone like this behind their back when she even stated herself that she understands their feelings. But yet, she was still talking bad about my group. In this situation, I didn't want my group to be talked behind their back. I didn't want my group when. Let me know when I. Yes, I will let you talk when I'm done with this, Beanie. She. It was just all messed up. I didn't understand why Bryn was talking badly about my group. Specifically to Vinny, who was the only person who had to confront Bryn because Bryn never told anyone. Okay? That was that. She likes to keep secrets. That's the end of it. It continued on and on and on. Continued. You know how Vinny was like to me. This is where the controversy started to arise with showing my group. She believed myself and my group were stalking her. You may be wondering, what do you mean we were stalking her? What are you guys talking about? She believed she had told Beanie that she felt that we were stalking her. She felt that we were stalking her entire channel, her website, everything that she had owned. She believed that we were stalking her. Now, when I mentioned this, when the group said that they don't want anything to do with Bryn anymore, I am seriously meaning it now. They didn't want to do anything with her, but she continued to assume things with her paranoia. Look at what it said right here by Eden. I forgot Bryn even had a website. That should be full evidence that none of them knew. No one, everyone forgot. They didn't even want to do anything with Bryn after the situation. So, where in this sequence was myself and my group off to believe that we were stalking Bryn? Where do you see that? So, continuing on, Bryn had continued to bring my name into the conversation she had with Beanie, continuing to say, my friends and myself suck. They kept saying, but Brandy's friends honestly suck. Like, I know that's mean to say, but they are. How how does that, like, that's what made me upset. Is that she went off and understood the situation. She had specifically told me she had understood the situation and understood their feelings. But yet she had the gall to go off and talk crap about my friends and go off and talk crap about them, saying that they suck, that they're horrible people, that they're the worst people that she ever met when she even stated in the beginning that she loved everyone in the server. So that's where I'm confused. Where are we getting off with this, Kaylee? Where do we get off with the fact that we were allowing this to happen? We never talked crap about Bryn. Yes, I did bring up the topic about what Bryn has done, but we have never decided to talk behind her back ever since the drama. We left it alone only because we thought it would be okay. We thought it would be a good idea to move on, but she didn't want to. And now she kept insinuating that my friend sucked, and that we were horrible people, and that we were the worst people in the world. In the end, she had confronted to Beanie that she was not keen to be friends with me anymore. She didn't want to be friends with me. She didn't want anything to do with me. She wanted this drama to keep happening and expected me to stay silent. So, in the end of my story of what actually happened with myself and my group, we have done nothing wrong. We haven't attacked Bryn. We haven't done anything horribly to Bryn. We haven't stalked her. We haven't attacked her. We haven't bullied her. We haven't threatened her. We haven't done anything. We have left it alone. And it got really bad to the point where I felt like it was my fault. I felt it was my fault. Maybe I should have done better. Maybe I should have just been more reasonable. But how can I, with my own group who are much younger than me, telling me how they feel? It was horrible having to find out that my group were uncomfortable by someone who I was friends with for a year. And the fact that I knew this group longer than Bryn showed overall that maybe my friendship with Bryn didn't matter to her anymore. Maybe my friendship with Bryn was just a way for her to get away, to make vents, make rants, make problems, to just ignore them. So, in the end, me and Bryn stopped becoming friends. That is where the idea came into from the beginning, why I have made this document about Bryn. It's to show my story, show the victim's side of the story from the group chat, what happened, and what really presented itself in a way that needed to. Exactly. I have met these people for almost 3 years now, some of them even longer when I was in high school. I have met these people for a long time. Some consider me a mother, some either consider me a big sister. Doesn't matter. What matters was I had to protect these people because they were important to me, and I felt that they needed to be protected by someone who was going to lie to them, bash their heads in, insult them, talk trash about them, and so on. Now that you know my side of the story, I think it's time we invite someone in this call and in this next server of the situation. I would like to bring out Beanie, who has brought out to me their situation and has decided to speak up of how they felt about Bryn.
Hello.
Hello, Beanie. I hope you are doing well.
Yes. Besides coughing, anyways.
Yep. I hope you're doing okay with that. Make sure you take medicine if it does end up becoming a sickness.
Oh
Now,
yeah, definitely.
now to begin, I have been presented this proof for the sake of helping Beanie out because she has decided to me that she felt it was time to expose Bryn as well, partially being the next victim in this sequence. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is the part where I will allow Beanie to talk, and I will be the one who will either talk with her, scroll down to show the document, or even agreeing with her, or I'll even stay silent. But now it is Beanie's turn to talk. Go ahead, Beanie.
Oh, now I don't know what to talk about.
How about we
Like how?
talk about your situation with Bryn not being able to talk about handling a server? How she allowed her server to
Yeah.
attack. Tails, and you.
Ah, yes. Okay, that's a good start. So basically, instead of being a responsible server owner and taking actions when Tails, my boyfriend, was getting attacked and muting either the one who was going after Tails, or just getting in the middle saying like let's calm down, taking into DMs, being a responsible server owner, she, rather than taking control, taking responsibility, she decided to delete the server and make a new one, hiding every evidence of what was going on in the rents and drama. Like we weren't like my boyfriend wasn't allowed to vent and talk his emotions out with and then he was getting attacked. What she should have done when being a server owner should have muted the ones who were going after him instead of deleting her server, acting like that's a good thing to do. Because that doesn't seem to be a responsible server owner thing. Like if you own a server, it's more responsible to have the people having an argument take it to DMs, sort it out, problem solved. Instead of doing that, she deleted the server either the next day or later that night.
Okay. All right. And it was stated by her that she wanted to do this for the sake of a healthy server, when in reality, she should have been able to correct the server and the people in it. Instead, she took to this point of removing you and Tails entirely for the sake of a healthy server, correct?
Oh yeah, well that happened in the new server. That happened in her new server. I don't know if it's still. I do not have any clue if it's still active. But it I do not know if it's still active. I don't even know if she still has it because she even told her friend James that if things went down that would be the last server, but most likely it's not going to because this is Bryn we're talking about.
Okay, okay. Now, you stated to me that instead of Brent talking to these people, she allowed these people to bash not only your name but Taylor's name, correct?
Yep. Yep,
And
instead of being responsible, she just decided to literally, instead of talking to the ones who were starting stuff, just kicked me and Tails out and said that it was for the better of the. It's basically better good. Like it's for everyone to be safe. Like no,
oh yeah,
you could have muted the ones who were going after me and Tails. Then hopefully everything would have been like calmed down enough.
exactly. Now, from this point forward, you did mention to Bryn about this, and do you know exactly what these people said to Tails about like what they said exactly about Tails? Do you remember anything what they said to Tails that felt needed to be pointed out right now?
Uh, it wasn't really what um but that's the thing. Been so long because kicked out randomly. Didn't get a. It was just make the server better excuse. I think it has something to do with Tails feeling left out,
Yes.
and Tails were talking about that in the server, and rather than being a friend and being there for Tails, I think everybody was going after, like, certain people were going talking and replying and saying stuff to Tails, and Bryn, instead of being responsible, she just decided to be a huge bitch
Mhm.
and kicked me and Tails out to avoid issues because we're problems apparently according to her. She may not say that in words, but we're problems according to her.
Yes, exactly. And was there any point in time that Bryn tried to fix this, or was it just leave it alone and to just hide away from it?
Oh yeah, no. She just hid it away. She didn't want to fix it at all. She just let Tails get like uh basically talk shit about, and rather than being a responsible friend, she just didn't say anything about it besides kicking me and Tails out to you avoid the issues because we're also horrible people. Like the people in her server aren't two face quants.
Exactly. Now, from one of these images that I presented, you have presented me or allowed me to share this photo of you expressing your problem with Bryn, how she allowed these people to talk trash about you and Tails,
Yep.
basically leaving him out of certain things and not being responsible of enough to confront this, which made you believe that she is a two-faced bitch in your perspective, correct?
Yes, because she acts that way.
Exactly. And that's why and instead of confronting these issues, you felt it was unfair for not only you, but towards Tails entirely that you were receiving backlash from Bryn and the server. That
Hmm.
instead of Bryn attempting to fix this, she hid away from the fact that these people were insulting you and Tails and were doing this for the sake of their own dumb reasons. And
Yep.
this was Bryn's way, people in the chat. This was Bryn's way of dealing with drama. Instead of confronting the drama, she leaves it alone. And apparently, to me, she didn't have a problem with talking trash about anyone else. But when it becomes to her or anyone else, it is a big problem to her. That it is a temper tantrum, I should say, to her. Now, I want to express further on that that you have provided me evidence that Bryn did not stop talking about richness from her,
Oh
and
yeah,
that
no, no. Oh yeah, no. She kept on mentioning that stuff like it was not like she was fully aware that some of us are poor. I literally stated out before in VCs, hey, could you not mention, how rich you are? Like, oh, I'm sorry, and then continue to like, oh, I have a house here. I'm going on expensive trips. Like, okay, and what triggered me more is like she mentioned how she may have the money to like go visit Tails, and that really just like threw me. Like,
it
you
really,
know,
yeah, and it really messed
like
you up entirely because you felt she was doing this to get on your bad side.
exactly, because honestly, money is not the main like money is not everything, but to her it is because she's got the expensive stuff. She can buy whatever she wants. She has the new types of games. She has no regret talking about money. It's like it's her main focus.
Exactly. And she has done, now I do want to bring this up because I had the same situation from Eden, who is not in the chat right now, but she had showed me photos, or she had showed me a photo once that Bryn was going off and showing off her riches to Eden herself. That not only was she doing it to you, Beanie, she was doing it to my friends as well. She was expressing how rich she is, how much mansion she has, how much money, how much she gets to travel, all that kind of stuff. And yes, I do have my fair share of expressing the money I get, what I spend on, but I don't ever go to that extent of, you know, of doing it as a way to treat you guys like you're poor. I have never done that to any of you. Even to my friend group. They think that I'm their rich sugar mama. And it's true. I think, I don't remember who it was, but one of them stated that I was like a sugar mama to them. That I had, you know, the idea to get them something like a private server from Roblox, or even buying something small. I would still, do it for them. And it wasn't because I'm, look, Vinny, Bryn need to buy me baggy pants. Yes, but no, I do agree with this idea that I felt Bryn was expressing too much about her money. And I felt, as for you, as a person who felt that was wrong, considering how you are and where your condition is, it was horrible.
Right.
And you even stated that Bryn was bragging about her riches, being able to afford things. And you stated
Mm.
yourself, you didn't live a wealthy life. And you were
Nope.
always told Bryn how rich Bryn was. In result, you felt degraded. You felt like someone was basically making fun of you that she was poor, you were rich. You wait, she was rich, you were poor.
Mm, yep, that's that. Yeah, no, that sums up perfectly.
Yep, she had even stated right here. It had stated that she told Bryn to stop mentioning it, but Bryn had continued. And this showed people that Bryn has no mindset to listen to anyone. This sets back to the drama in the very beginning when I told her, be careful with what you say to my group, be careful with the questions you're asking, what you say to them. She didn't listen. And she had did the same thing to my friend Beanie. When Beanie told her to stop, did she listen? No, of course not. Because she felt it was funny to her, or it was just some kind of joke when it shouldn't have been a joke. What I said to her was serious. What Beanie said to her was serious. That should have been in her mind that, hey, maybe I should stop mentioning this stuff or even mentioning the things entirely. Now, to the next point, Beanie. Bryn, you had mentioned to me that Bryn would rather remove people and forget their feelings, which means that she dismissed your boyfriend Tails' feelings, correct?
Yep,
And instead of taking responsibility, she dismissed Tails and his feelings and continue on with her day with the group instead of taking responsibility, correct?
yep, exactly.
And this showed overall, if I'm not mistaken, that she had no remorse to the fact that her members had pushed someone to the limit, that someone was willing to do something to themselves because she didn't want to take responsibility. Continuing
I
on, even right here,
absolutely.
there's a message right here between Beanie and her boyfriend. I can read it if you want to, me, Beanie, and you can clarify with what you're saying is either accurate or, you know, but I
Yeah.
will I will say this. Just lay his head on shoulder. What's wrong? Now I'm feeling more left out. The Among Us video Bryn made. I saw Bryn's Among Us series vid, one I helped start too. Now I see him, I feel more hurt that I can't be a part of something like that again. It makes me feel abandoned in gaming now. Now, I don't know if he can answer that, but you can, Beanie. Did Tails really help?
Mm,
But Tails mentioned that he was the one that helped Bryn start the stream, and that he was the one
yes,
that was
actually,
basically starting everything to help Bryn with her streams or whatever. Correct?
from what I can remember, again, I joined in late when they were doing the streams, but yeah, from what I could like, what I got gist of it was like Tails was like one of the main people in the like Yellow Among Us series stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yes. And you did specify to Bryn on how Tails failed.
Mm-hmm.
And
That I did.
instead of Bryn fixing this, she had went off and said, I can't do anything. The Yellow Among Us series doesn't feel the same without him. Now, to point this out, Beanie, this made you feel overall that Bryn wasn't being helpful towards you or your boyfriend.
Yep, exactly. She was like, it's like she was just, she's aware, but she wasn't going to take action. Like, you know what she could should have done? Talked it over to the other people involved with the series and go like, okay, I know you don't like each other, but you have to, or you don't have to, but you can at least be nice to Tails. It's not fair
Exactly.
to have him. It's not fair to have him out of the series just because you guys can't get along.
Exactly.
I'm purposely doing the British accent on purpose.
No, it's okay. It's okay. As long as it's not being offensive towards anyone else. I mean, I don't know how to feel
Oh,
about it because I mean, she's the only one that has that kind of accent, you know. But overall, though, instead of like you said, instead of talking to these people, admittedly, about maybe you guys should make some room. You may not like Bryn, I mean not Bryn. You may not like Tails, but at least let him join so he can have fun. Instead, he she didn't. In this situation
exactly.
overall, I'm gonna recap everything, okay? And you can add what you believe, what you say, Beanie. So in this situation overall, Tails felt left out. Instead of Bryn fixing the problem, she let it happen. She let the people specifically in that certain server to target someone and harass them to the point of ever showing up and felt degraded. In the situation overall, Bryn had done nothing, correct?
No, yeah, no, she just stood by and let it happen. The only time she took action was when apparently it got too much for her to handle or something, and like she decided to say, okay, rather than taking care of this, delete the server. And then in the no server, yeah, we were only allowed we were only there for a few minutes. I left after certain someone was in it, and I just can't handle being the same server as that person. So, but then
Exactly.
yeah.
Now, overall, is there any additional information that you would like to apply to this document that isn't in there that you felt that should be added or felt should be added in there for people to kind of hear more about?
Mm, I think maybe just the whole instead of being a responsible server owner and not letting people attack one another and letting people vent because we have so much emotions built up. We are not allowed to you know vent out and not expect so, we're not expect is I don't see the whole reason of you know one person goes to vent and then other people get offended. Like you could just she could have just told or not told him, but she could have put deleted the ones who was going after Tails about sharing his opinion about not being involved in a series, rather than saying, hey, you know what, that's it, delete. She literally delete the server either earlier that night or the next day. I cannot remember, but me, B, and Tails were all confused by when it happened.
Okay, exactly. And hold on, there was a
And
question
Tails
I
made this
wanted.
server.
Now, there is one question that I felt that it should be expressed. How did you feel when Bryn always pulled you away from your boyfriend?
Uh, Actually very upsetting because that since we're on that topic, I feel offended because she's aware that me and Tails will sleep in feces because for me it's a comfortable space. I don't care what anyone else says, it's comfortable. And she would call me non-stop. Like the other last time she tried calling me, the whole point of her calling me was about a fucking door handle being able to play songs. Like, what's so interesting about that? Like, that was whole point of calling me was she was like just wanting my attention, and I was in a VC when I woke up. It was a mixed call because I was sleeping, but it's just the fact that she would keep calling me. And when I didn't answer, she'd be like, "Are you mad at me? Are you upset with me? Like, why
Exactly.
would I be upset? I just don't want to talk."
Now, did this situation overall make you feel upset at the idea that Bryn was possibly trying to do this to keep you away from Tails?
Honestly, yes, because she has her life, me, and whatnot. She has uni. She has her adult. She has responsibilities.
Exactly. Now, I would like to also input this, in my opinion. Even though she didn't do it as much as she did with you, she did have the tendency on adding me into stuff and getting me involved with this stuff. So I felt overall as well that she was also pulling me away from my own boyfriend. It was upsetting, and even finding out that what was said about Eli, that he felt upset that I preferred Bryn over him was just upsetting. That I let it get to this point that it was just upsetting altogether. I let it get to this point of her taking me away from my own boyfriend, my own the only person who I wanted to be with for the rest of my life, and she kept taking me away from him. And seeing it now, I felt as though she actually did have a crush on me. Wouldn't you agree? Didn't do you think that Bryn had a crush on you?
Actually, yeah, and with the evidence that I've asked both, I've asked Eli, or not Eli, I've asked Tails if he was ever pulled into multiple calls or a call with Bryn, and he told me no. So I'm like, okay, so either she targets females like me and you, or she was purposely trying to pull us away from our boyfriends because she knows damn well I enjoy sleeping in the VCs with Tails. She knows damn well I'm protective of Tails, and she knows damn well that I will not ditch him in the VC. You know, if he get disconnected, that's yeah, okay, but that's a whole other thing. But she, like pulling me away, calling me into like multiple VCs. She'll keep me in an hour VC talking about stuff like Ninjago or um Sailor Moon. That's not like a problem, but the fact is, why are we in a DMVC talking about topics about like this? Like I think you know DMVC should be like for other reasons. Like hey, I think that probably private other private things like that. Talking about series and stuff like that isn't you know really needed to be pulled into a VC, like pulled into a DMVC, and then whenever I never answered her, she would just go, "Are you upset with me? Did I ignore you?" I'm like, "No, I just woke up. You're pulling
That
like I didn't like verbally say, are you trying to pull me away from Tails? Do you have something for me?" But the fact that she only did it to me and you and most likely other females, it only raises more suspicions that she may have had something for us, but she was fully aware that we are taken and had no other way to express her affection for us.
I feel the same way. I always felt that overall I had to be included in the things, and the one thing that I started finding a little weird afterwards was the fact that she had my profile or my PFP in her streams on like the right corner almost all the time. And being able to know that not only was this happening to me and that it was also happening to you really showed that instead of taking initiative and actually finding someone to maybe talk to or even hang out with, it was then it would be a different story. But instead, she didn't have anyone to go out with. She kept insinuating that she was going to ask girls out, but she never did. So it kept coming up to me and you overall that we were the only people that she wanted to talk to. And,
Right?
now from this point onward, with the joke that you guys made about, oh, Bryn might have a crush on me, I'm starting to see it now as an actual thing true because I never understood why Bryn was so overprotective of me and you specifically to the point that she basically wanted me in calls, wanted me to text her every time, wanted me to be in streams sometimes, wanting to look out for her website, such and such.
Hmm, that's weird.
It almost felt like my opinions and your opinions felt mattered to her more, but with everyone else, it felt pointless.
Same. And actually, reminding of that, the fact can I can I also mention the fact that it took me, not you, but me, to have her officially cut off from everybody. Tails, Eli, B. She left Eli's server. She left Tails' server. James left this server for most likely because Bryn left, but I don't know if he has context. Why did it take me? Why the fuck did it take me of all people, for her to finally cut contact with everybody? And she's not even friends with, like, I go to like look at her profile. She's not friends with anybody I'm friends with, and she also blocked me on Instagram. And plus, why is she so secretive on Twitter?
That's what I'm concerned about is because I know she had drama in the past with other people, but I never understood the fact of why she kept her Twitter so private. It almost felt like she had problems on there or there was something going on in Twitter that potentially she didn't want anyone to find out, which was kind of disgusting for me.
Yeah, and very suspicious. But I'm like, I've been like trying to think this like as soon as I started ignoring her because I was just tired of her BS. I had things to do, worry about. I have a life outside of Discord. I have a life outside of social media. She just literally I'm not gonna even try to send her a message. She blocked me on, most likely blocked me on Discord. She has not blocked me on YouTube. That is the suspicious part. You've seen it yourself. I've like left a comment there. She hasn't blocked me there,
Yeah.
but she blocked me on Instagram. But why? Why did it take me?
It
Someone
honestly,
she barely knew for like near not even a year to finally say, okay, I'm just gonna cut contact with everybody involved with Beanie and Brandy because why not?
exactly. That's what made
And
it
she just
suspicious was the fact that instead of taking me, of all people who she considered a very good fucking friend to and the only person that helped her through her 2022 drama, didn't, leave any server. But yet it took you, out of all people, to really leave everything. And it almost felt like she had more feelings to you specifically than to me. I mean, she probably did have feelings for the both of us, but again, oh, Rosie, Warlock, every other girl she mentioned, she didn't have the guts to confess to them. But yet, when it came to us, she specifically wanted us close to her at all times. I have remembered even times where there would be times where I'm doing schoolwork last semester or like months ago when I first started the end of my freshman year. There would be times where I felt like I had to be in the same VC as her, the same stream as her to only continue working. And there would be times I would still be up late at night finishing work because either there was something going on, I had to I was distracted or what, but it always felt like just up to this point that you, out of all people, she was the reason she left.
right. It
And
like it will never like make sense. Why me? Like she barely even knew me for like a year. So why did it take me? I will not understand that because as soon as I stopped talking to her, she just went completely okay. Time to cut ties with everybody. Left my server, left Eli's server, left Tails' server, and I bet she didn't even explain why. She just and what I find funny is she's got this whole group on Minecraft, her Minecraft friends. Like we're easily replaceable. Like we're
if
not. What kind of friend is that? That's like literally not a friend.
and that's what makes me more upset is that she kicked all of us to a curb and then decided right after I'm going to go and find Minecraft friends. And she
Exactly.
replaced it everyone from the
And well,
point of us
and
being a group to now finding someone else in a group.
right. And
And
it
that
even took me going snooping around to play as a certain someone to see what was going on. And apparently, one of her Minecraft friends knew, probably doesn't know all this, like all the details, but apparently he's aware of what's going on. So I'm like, so you just go from one group to another, hmm?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to understand is how do you swiftly move to one group to another and then completely forget about the memories that you created with the group. I mean, didn't she tell everyone specifically like some people that we were the reasons that she moved on from the 2022 drama that she had?
Yep.
And she had told me specifically, I was the only person, along with other people, that I was the one who had helped her, moved on, and continued to have a good life without the drama in her hands. But instead, she kept talking about it. She kept bringing it up. She kept insinuating that we were the best people ever, and then in the end, we were completely dismissed about her and abandoned by her.
Right.
And that
Like we're just easily able to be replaced. Like, what kind of friend is that? Like, that's just some BS right there.
and that's what I'm seeing in Eli, what he's saying right now. It's like she Thanos snapped, basically. Like what Eli said, Thanos snapped.
Yep.
completely disappeared of our lives, decided to move on. And she still, up to this day, continues to make streams and completely forget about every single one of any person who helped her.
Yep.
And instead of fixing the situation, she completely avoided everyone. And, and
Exactly.
And that is the worst part of it all. That she did not want to talk to anyone and that she wanted to move on, but didn't fix the situation. She invalidated everyone's feelings. She invalidated your feelings, our boyfriends, mine, my groups, and everyone else she probably attacked or started talking shit about.
You
Which
you
should
never
be
know. We never know.
up to that topic of talking shit about. How about we move on to extra information, shall we? Where it has been disclosed to me by Beanie herself. Say hello again. that
Hello, I'm better.
that Beanie had disclosed information to me and someone else in this call that she has not only talked shit about me and Beanie, but she had decided to talk shit about someone else. You want to know who that is? Just B.
And for disclaimer, hello everyone. I have somehow snuck in, broken out of prison since Brandy locked me away for some reason. But
You shut
disclaimer:
the.
this guy knows he says it a lot. So
Okay, well, I will disclose that. You go back muting. Go back muting. Okay, continuing on. Oh, yes. Hello, Just B. Now, when you found out about this situation about Bryn talking shit about you behind your back, how did you feel overall about the situation? Hurt, exactly. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Now, you do. Now, when it was stated by Bryn that you did talk about ending your life or talking about death itself, did you mean this in a way where you were trying to guilt trip people or were you just trying to express yourself entirely? Hmm. Okay. Understandable. Understandable. And you even stated to me yourself in a private conversation that you have, you do never attend on guilt tripping people, and that this was your way of expressing yourself on how you feel as a person and what has happened to you personally. Now, from these topics overall, Bryn had continued to talk trash about you, saying that you were basically guilt tripping people and all this kind of stuff, which is not true. Which But you basically said that you do this only because you either are in a you are taking reoccurring flashbacks about what has happened to you with you and your ex, or even to now where you don't feel kind of connected to the reality in a way, right? Now, I do want to ask the question. You do not have to answer it, or you can just answer it to me privately. Was there a reason why you always called Bryn the C word, like the hard C, CUNT? Like, was it just because you wanted to be funny, or was it just because, you know? So there was something that did happen between you and Bryn to the point where you did say something like that.
we didn't really have argument. DM like nothing. We didn't argue in the VC.
Okay, so then it was just
Like
her not taking it well then, as a joke.
yeah, whenever she brings up some jokes, like for
Hmm.
example, me getting pinned to the wall, which my ex girlfriend just started when we were in one live stream,
Yes.
and then and then and then some days or weeks pass, and she keeps bringing it up, which is already getting annoying.
Of course it would be annoying. I mean, have you told Bryn a bunch of times to stop talking about this? Like, do
Not,
you
I don't think I have though.
but it did become annoying to the point where it felt like she shouldn't
Yeah,
be bringing it up every
yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah. She did say that she will try. She did say that she will stop saying it.
but she kept doing it afterwards, or
I think so. I don't know. I can't remember really well since I'm because I have because I've been focusing what I'm doing for my future or so.
understandable. That is understandable, and that is a good answer. It's always good to focus on the future, unlike some people, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now, continuing on with the document, Bryn has continued talking trash about just B overall, about going off and saying that you hold on, question real quick. Have you been blaming Bryn for no reason, or is this just something that she just randomly brought up?
I think it's I think something that she randomly bring up. I think.
Okay. And you are being truthful with these answers, right? You are remember like you do know that, you know,
Yeah, I
okay.
think so.
And then, later on Bryn goes off and continues talking trash. He's just salty because I have him muted in BCs. Instead of taking this privately, she continued to talk trash about him personally. Instead of going off and talking privately to you, B, and saying, hey, what's going on is messed up. Can we just move on with it and, continue on more healthier instead of doing this kind of stuff? It never
And
happened.
the audacity that he said I'm insane. Do I do I sound or look insane?
No, you do not.
Like I'm only being insane when I'm literally being a joker, like laughing so much and jokes,
Yeah,
like for
exactly.
just funny side to express just to lay out my depression,
Yeah, and it's understandable to express this kind of way, you know? Now, instead, again, once more, instead of Bryn talking to you privately about this, she went off and started talking trash about you. Now, I do understand her perspective, being told a bunch of times that you want to end your life and all that kind of stuff. It kind of seems uncalled for, but at the same time, I felt as though you kind of had an understanding to this. It was how you felt. You were going through a lot, and she shouldn't have to continue talking shit about you. And it was uncalled for that she had to do that to you. Instead of talking privately and fixing the situation with you, she continued to insult you and trash your name.
yeah,
But overall, you did express to me that this was your way of how you felt, what has happened to you, and you never knew about this at all, that you never knew that Bryn was talking trash about you.
yeah.
And that is where we got to the point of having to have you come in because we felt that you needed to come and present yourself and show everyone that instead of talking to people privately, she is willing to talk shit about people and insult them and hurt them behind their back. And that is the same thing she did to not only to you, but to everyone else that she has talked to. Now I'm
That's
going to read the chat. Hey Brandy, Demon is just door to me about what Brent told me in DMs on my old account. Jessica, do you mind expressing that to me when you can in our DMs, Jessica? Because I think I still have you. You can show them to me if you like, and I can go over them for you if you like. But overall, because I think we have. Yes, okay. Ah, no, not that, please. Sorry. I started opening random windows. But overall, Bryn is just a horrible person to people. She's a liar. She is manipulative. She is doesn't take responsibility for not only her actions but to other people's actions, and she doesn't know when to be quiet when someone tells her to stop. Now I know that might sound mean, but it's kind of true, you know. Oh, thank
Jessica,
you.
can everyone hear me though?
Yes, they
Cause I have
can.
people. Okay, but I want to know if the audience can hear me.
Yes, they
Just
can
in
hear
case.
you. Yes, they can hear
All
you.
right, all right.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'm
The
just checking.
my OBS detects everyone, so everyone can hear what I'm saying and what you guys are saying. I can't get into the camera. It's okay,
It's okay.
Jessica. We can talk. I'll add you. I'll get your new account and then we can talk from there. Let me actually do that right now, actually. Give me 1 second, people, and then we will go over some final stuff. We will go over the final conclusion of who, of what really happened between everyone and what has occurred to the point that we all decided to speak up and why everyone decided to speak up in a way. Okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to recur everything back to the beginning, and I am going to summarize everything from head to toe, from beginning to end. And you guys can either add stuff to the situation or you can. So, we're going to go back to the very beginning, people. Very beginning. My group and I never had a problem with Bryn. There was no situation with Bryn. There was no problems, no issues, no nothing. We were all getting along well until the group has disclosed to me that she was talking privately about stuff, personal information, when it has been disclosed to Bryn to not say anything personal. Do not ask anything personal, such and such. It's got to the point where the group felt uncomfortable. I had to take initiative to kick her out of the group. She understood it, but she continued to drag the drama along. She continued dragging it to the point that I was removed from the server that she had conducted and had been removed of her as a friend. She had basically guilt tripped me and manipulated me into believing that I was at fault for her having anxiety, her having issues with university, her not moving on, such and such. Instead of moving on, she had continued to bash not only my name, but my group's name, such as Vinny himself, who is the one who had confronted Bryn after finding out that Bryn has been lying about not only her gender, but everything else about her. Instead of taking initiative, she had basically lied to everyone about about what really happened. She tried to twist the story in her favor, try to make us believe that we were monsters to her and that we had no reason to attack her. And up to this point, it led to my removal. Instead of confronting the situation, she completely ignored it. She had continued to talk trash about everyone else, and mostly Vinny in this case, because Vinny was the one who confronted Bryn. Instead of moving on, or instead of talking to me personally about how she felt, she kept insinuating that we were hurting her, we were stalking her, we were trashing her name, we were doing all this kind of stuff to her when we had done nothing but moved on from the drama. Now we move on to Beanie's problem. And for Beanie, Beanie instead, and in this point of view, sorry, I'm talking a little fast here. For Beanie, instead of Bryn taking responsibility for what her server has done to her boyfriend and her herself, she had continued to let these people in her server bash their names, talk trash about them, insult them, never let them talk at all, to the point that they were also removed, probably from the old one and probably from the new one, depending on what is what. Instead of taking initiative and responsibility altogether, she decided to hide away and let these friends, her so called friends, talk trash. And knowing that she was friends with Tails and Beanie in this situation, she didn't protect them. She didn't stand by them. She didn't insinuate to start a rule, to really set out boundaries. She let it happen and she didn't want to do anything about it. She had continued to brag about Beanie, about her riches, continue to brag about how rich she is, where she goes, what she can get, how many mansions she has, such and such, which made Beanie feel very uncomfortable because knowing Beanie herself, she doesn't live in a wealthy lifestyle like Bryn, and she felt overall that Bryn didn't care about her opinion or stopping at that moment. Even though Beanie had told Bryn separate times to stop talking about money, Bryn had continued to do it for the sake of her own enjoyment of degrading someone. And instead of helping Tails and Beanie with the problem, she had avoided and dismissed the feelings of these two people specifically and let it go be bygone. She didn't want to admit what her server did was wrong and only let her server herself decide entirely, which showed that Bryn didn't want to take any initiative of who she is as a server owner and didn't want to take anything necessary for the sake of a healthy server. All Bryn has done in this situation was degrade someone, let the drama unfold, which reinstated my idea that she never takes responsibility for her own actions towards people and her server entirely. This now moves on to extra information where Bryn not only had to talk shit about me, Beanie, Tails, and maybe other people, maybe my boyfriend, who knows. She also decided to talk shit about someone who has, you know, mental issues, such as just me. I may be saying this rude way and I apologize for that. I'm just trying to reinstate it. Instead of talking to Just Be regularly and privately, she decided to go off and talk shit about Just Be and continue to mock his name, continuing to say that, oh, we don't consider friends anymore. It's always his attitude. He always has a, he's always horrible and shitty. That I have my reason now to always mute him. Basically, reinstating that she is willing to talk shit about someone instead of talking to them personally and fixing the issue on their own, which overall reinstates my points and the victim's points and the people in the call's points that Bryn does not like to consider anyone else's feelings but her very own. She will insist on talking about herself and trying to make herself on top of everyone else for the sake of gaining popularity and all that kind of stuff. Now, let me see. May I say something? Yes, you can, Eli. If you're able to say it in the chat, you can. Or if you want to say it right now without the mute, you can right now.
Okay, I know it's not a problem, but before it starts, hi everyone. I'm Brandy's love of her life. Anyways, um, okay. What annoys me is that she of course, like what you said, she has all this. Ooh, she's rich and all. She could go on these trips and to show off me and putting stuff on hold. Like for one of my projects, she promised me that she'll write one of the scripts and but then she decided to go on a trip and she decided like to can't like not do the script at all, pass it to someone else.
Now, that is
And
something that I just remembered right
so
now.
she made me waste of my time, and regardless, we didn't even do it because she just took up
Yes.
all that time.
And
I
exactly.
and like we just said, like keep asking you like to join all these calls, VCs, and all that, and just like not asking me once, not asking me, never once she asked me if I would like to do something with her. Not
Exactly.
once. even the times that I did not was not working, she still didn't ask me.
Exactly.
Uh, so all in all, I never felt this much betrayal in my life
And I am very sorry,
because
Eli, that you do have to hear this. And I know it's going to really suck that you did consider Bryn as a friend, but I did not want to hide this from you because I felt overall that Bryn does not deserve to be friends with anyone, including you and Tails, since you were the only two people who had also helped her and stuck by her. And the fact that she was willing to hurt you both to this point is just very insulting to not only me, but to Beanie as well, who is both your girlfriends. To both. To everyone. To you both.
the fact that me and Toast hadn't done nothing, we didn't do nothing to her. We helped her. We we did nice stuff, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Nah, I'm gonna make you guys humble," and she did all that.
Exactly. And I
So
appreciate you expressing your feelings to me because this shows overall that not only was she not going to tell you guys, she was just going to hide it away per usual. She was going to hide away from her mistakes and never say anything to anyone unless someone spoke up about it. And I
if
appreciate
you
you
got a
very much.
problem, you have problems. Just say it. Don't keep it to yourself.
Exactly. And I thank you very
Just
much for
talk.
pointing that out.
Yeah.
Is
All
there
right, that's all I gotta
anything?
say. I mean,
All right. That's fine.
the
Thank you,
what?
Tails. I mean, Eli, sorry. Crap. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Um, Tails, is there anything you want to say apart from this? Because I don't want you to just like sit here and stay quiet. Is there anything you want to say that you feel that you should express about?
Yes, before I get serious, I can't really move my body. Eli tied me up so I wouldn't move during the stream.
What? I didn't do nothing.
All right, all right.
But, but in all seriousness, and I know she's probably gonna be watching this because
I don't
Bryn,
mind.
If you are, I just want to let you know that I thought we were like friends. I thought we were like best friends and all, but
Yeah,
like after everything that I did help you with, like when it came to your struggles with, I'm not gonna say what those were, but for instances like your personal your online thing, or like whenever you needed assistance and I decided to help any way I can. I never expected I never expected to turn out like this.
and I'm really am sorry, Tails, that it had gotten to this point where you were a victim of this, where you were cast aside and treated like shit. And it's just horrible that not only you were going through it, but Eli, B, Beanie, myself. And it's just saddening that not only you and Eli were doing so much for her, and all she did in return was betrayal and hatred. And it's just sickening.
Yeah,
And
and I get the fact that on some reason why, because of other things that I'd rather not go into at the moment. But what about, like, I know you were trying to protect their feelings. Like, what about my feelings? Oh, I'm
exactly.
human after all.
And that's the thing that pissed off not only me but Beanie was the fact that she protected their feelings so much. But what about yours? Where were your feelings
Exactly.
important in this part?
What kind of friend does that? I'm sorry. That's just BS.
Exactly. And what made it more pissed off was that you were always there for her, Tails. But yet, where was it at any point in time did she decide, oh, well, maybe I should also consider Tails' feelings? But no, she decided to consider some other asshole's feelings that probably weren't even that important, but yet had no interest in mind to say, maybe I should also consider their Tails' feelings too. But she didn't. She left you aside, ignored you, avoided your feelings, and left you alone. And that's the sad part. Not even for you, not even for Eli, not even for anyone. She didn't have any interest in mine to fucking speak up for you. And that's the messed up fucking part that I hate that Bryn does. She doesn't take any fucking responsibility. And she would rather watch people suffer than take responsibility and let people fucking know that what they're doing is wrong. And instead of speaking up to it, she hid from everyone. She unfriended everyone, left everyone's server, and decided to replace us all for some what? Random ass people that she found on Minecraft? It's horrible. But I do want to say one thing, that someone else also was a part of this drama too. That she now you might it might be Jessica as well. Jessica has disclosed to me that she also had a problem with Bryn in the past. She has stated to me overall that her and Bryn were going to do a project together, talking about things we should like some credit music, post credit, such and such for an episode going on. And since Jessica forgot to do her lines because she was focusing on other stuff, learning about their both past or whatever, Bryn completely blocked Jessica entirely and blocked her completely just because she forgot her lines. Jessica thought over and over again that she felt that she said something wrong and she was hurt by it because she didn't remember saying anything, didn't remember mentioning anything. I didn't want to tell you guys anything because I thought she'll tell you all something else than without me telling the truth. And that is how Jessica felt overall. And I felt that from what she said felt correlated to what is going overall. Instead of what she instead of what happened with me and my group, she twisted the story up, twisted everyone's story up that she had problems with in this group specifically right now that we are talking, twisted it up and made it seem like we were the most horrible people in the world. And that is the worst part of it all, that she twisted everyone's story. People were afraid that she was going to say something else. People were we were all upset that she was going off and telling people different things that weren't even true. She didn't stand up to anyone. She didn't help anyone. She didn't protect anyone. She didn't understand anything. She had continued to let this happen for the sake of avoiding the drama. And that is the saddest part of them all, is that instead of talking to anyone, she never wanted to. She left it alone. She abandoned us. And she never wanted to speak to any of us again. It was even disclosed by some people that she wanted to stop being friends with them. I don't even want to mention their name because it's for privacy reasons, but I was told that she wanted to unfriend someone because she had problems, but she didn't have the guts to do it or tell them the truth because she wanted to hide away. And that is the saddest part of them all, is that she does not want to confront what she did. She is using people as a way to escape. She is using people that she barely knows as a way of a tactic to protect herself from hide away, cast away.
We are the castaways. Sorry.
But I can't now. It's because Eli fucking said something and I just started like thinking about it now. But to bring up to a conclusion to the end of this, because I think we are finally reaching the end of how everyone felt about this situation. I don't know if you'll watch this, Bryn. You probably won't. You'll probably just ignore me like you always do. Probably ignore the victims like you always do and not say a word. But I am still willing. Now, I might be kind of biased here, but I am still willing to talk to you. I am still willing to get a resolution from this from you and finally get an end to this problem that we have together. What you have done in this situation overall is horrible. It is disgusting that you have the guts to twist everyone's words, make yourself the victim, manipulate people into thinking that we all done wrong to you, and continued to do it. Now, some of us might not want to speak to you anymore. Some of us don't want to talk to you anymore. Some of us don't even want to do anything with you anymore because they're at that point now where they are done talking about you. They're done even wanting to be friends with you because you're a horrible person to be around. Because if you're talking crap about people and being this horrible to people, of course. But I myself am willing to talk about this, fix this, and finally get an understanding with you instead of this bullcrap. But until then, until you do not speak up and talk to me privately or talk to anyone else privately, this document will be up. This stream will be up. Everything that I have presented, what I have expressed, what Beanie had possessed, how
Mm.
Just B is, Tails, Eli, Jessica, even, my group, everyone who said what they said. It will be in this document, in this stream entirely. It will stay in here until you speak up. You had not only continued to talk trash about us, but you have shown no remorse, unwilling to fix this. Even if, I will say this now, even if we get a resolution from this, Bryn, I will never be your friend anymore. You had put me in this position where I had to make a document. I had to find out stuff about what you do to other people, and find out how you truly felt of people, including me. And the worst part of it all was I was kind of upset that you were talking shit about me, but didn't have the guts to confront me and let me know how you feel. And, I was there. Everyone was there for you. Everyone supported you. Everyone helped you. Everyone was willing to put their situation to the side for you. But instead, we got in return was betrayal and slander. But again, Bryn, I know you may not see this, but I am willing to talk to you. I am willing to give you one last fucking chance to speak up and confront what you have done to these people. You may not agree to it, but I will not allow this to happen again. Until you have shown every person that you have hurt and slandered by, it will just be horrible. Until you tell and apologize to what you have done to everyone, I may consider dropping I can consider everything. I can disregard what I said. I can even make an apology video if I have to. But I will not until you confront what you have done and apologize to not only the group in this voice call, but to my fucking group. You have considered on slandering them when you have told them specifically that you understood their feelings. Instead, you disregarded them and you had to put it in a position where you were talking shit about them. Talking shit about minors, for crying out loud, Bryn, that
Oh my
they felt uncomfortable with you. And yeah, I'll say that. They were uncomfortable with you, Bryn. You were privately messaging them about where they live, how old they are, what they look like, such and such, when I had specifically told you, Bryn, do not talk privately about that kind of shit. Do not message them privately about that kind of shit. What did you do? You avoided it. And you're going off and telling other people that what I did and what my group did was unacceptable and that we are the worst people in the world, that we are monsters, that we are considered fucking dead to you. Now, I want to end this finally with a thank you, Bryn, for showing me who you are as a person, for everything that you've done, for me realizing now that you are someone that I can never forgive anymore. You had put me and everyone else in this position of feeling degraded, feeling horrible that they were your friend and all you did in return was hurt them. And I applaud you, Bryn, for being able to show that you had no courtesy or no responsibility for what you did. Instead, you hid. And so I appreciate you, Bryn, for showing everyone who you are, showing everyone in the stream who you are. It may not be a lot of people, but hell, I got a lot of people knowing who you really are as a person. So, in the end, I would like to thank everyone for this stream who was a part of the stream and who is also part of the VC for coming by and giving me their input and being able to express themselves on how they felt. Is there any last words to any of you before I end the stream?
Eli, let me out of the cage. I'm stuck in here.
For my last final message from
Man,
Bryn.
you betrayed me.
Hold on,
You betrayed
hold
all of
on.
us.
Okay, let's start one at a time. One at a time. B, go.
For my message from Bryn. No baited, no bitches.
Yep,
Oh,
true though,
and
true.
she can't get a bitch.
Yep. All right, Beanie, any last words for you?
I'm gonna actually B just remind me. I love how or not love the fact that Bryn goes after minors, but she can't seem to get a girl, and the fact that she's also obsessed with her ex. Get a life. Seriously, you need a fucking life, Bryn.
Don't date. Don't
Yeah,
date
don't date a
14.
minor. Go.
No,
What?
no.
I wonder how Warlock would feel if she saw this stream. Oh
Uh,
wait, I don't even think you care about Warlock anymore because you don't seem to care. Doesn't seem to
exactly.
cross your mind.
Yep, yep,
That's not my.
Anyways, that's all.
exactly. All right, Eli, is there anything you want to say, darling?
Why'd you call me darling?
Because I felt
Darling.
bad
I'm gonna call you
for
son.
you finding out.
I'm gonna call you Dark Bryn now. Good. What just happened? Anyway. Dark Bryn, you betrayed us. Traitor.
One.
I don't like it. So, I don't like it.
Thank you,
Hurt my
thank you. All right, and Tails, is there anything you want to say before we go?
Tails.
Or will you just stay quiet? Help, I'm in a cage again, he says. Just kidding.
Better
So,
not be in the cage.
but no,
He's an angel.
but no, seriously, Tails, is there
Wait,
anything
don't throw him
you wanna say finally before we end this?
related to Bryn.
Related to Bryn, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, we can save the jokes for later. Oh,
Bryn.
thanks, Bryn. Thanks, B. All right, is there nothing else to say?
Lemon Lime Prime.
Haha, yes.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
Lemon Lane Prime. Oh, that's a great. No, that's a great thing to remember. Her throwing up after drinking a lemon lime prime. Whose stupid fault was hers? Hers.
All right, I'm gonna deafen so I can end the stream, everyone. I'll be right back, real quick. Now, I want to be able to thank every one of you for stopping by and being able to show a little bit of what has happened in the stream. I know it may be a lot to you, and I know it's a lot of information to gather, but it is just something that I want to express and what everyone else wants to express. And yes, I do have my fair share of talking about people, but never to the extent of wanting to remove them or all this kind of stuff. Now, I would like to conclude this document. If anyone would like to share this document or want to have it to read for themselves, please either, reply to me on Discord or on Instagram, anything like that, and I will give you the document myself. Now, I would like to thank everyone once more for stopping by and being able to give me their input, sharing everyone their experiences and being able to help me as a person and everyone else shall this just be. But no. Thank you everyone for stopping by. And once more, if you guys do need this document to read, since if I was a little fast or I was scrolling through it, do let me know and I will give it to you. Overall, I really appreciate you all stopping by and I appreciate the victims who were a part of this and the people in my group stopping by to give me their input and sharing their information about Bryn. She may not see this, she may will. We will never know until that time has come when she confronts me. She may not. She's probably too scared. We don't know. But once more, I appreciate you all for stopping by. And as always, I hope you all have a lovely day. And please, take care of yourself.